Hellfest is a brand new slasher film that takes place in a haunted attraction. The film follows a group of teenagers or college students that go to what is considered Hellfest, a traveling haunted attraction that aims to scare its patrons, and little does anyone know that within the park resides a masked killer, a person who can blend in with the rest of the crowd. So it's up to this group of people that we follow in the movie to decide what is real and what is fake. I've always been interested in haunted attractions. Things like Halloween Horror Nights and of anything else of the such has always kind of interested me. Having to go through a haunted maze of sorts to be scared by others or by props or by, machines is something that I've actually been kind of interested in. And the whole trend of the haunted attraction has kind of been going in a very big direction. And recently there has been an actual documentary called The Art of the Haunt. And it's a very good documentary, and it's on Netflix if anyone wants to check it out. But this movie in particular is genuinely a slasher. So if I were to describe this film, I would say if you took the best elements of Halloween and you mixed it with a real world setting, you'd get this movie. There's a lot of parts in this movie where it kind of reminded me of Halloween for a bit. As you know from my Halloween 2 review, I said that it was really cool of an idea to have Michael Myers kind of, be part of the crowd, be part of the trick-or-treaters, to be part of Halloween. It's a very good disguise method for a murderer. And likewise, with this, you have a murderer who disguises himself as one of the haunted attraction's own scare people. There's actually a part in the movie, as well as a trailer, that says, "Oh, well, this guy's been following me all night. You just described 15 people that work here." It's like, that's actually something very interesting. Now, what's not very interesting about this film is, well, it's characters. The characters in this film are a bit, it's stereotypical. A lot of the same stuff you would expect with little to no characterization. It's very flat, and that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as the scares are good. So are the scares good? Yes and no. There's points in the film where the scares are pretty good, but then at the same time there are scares that are not so good. The first two kills at this Hellfest are actually some of the most goriest deaths I've ever seen in a slasher film. And I won't spoil those, but those are really good ones. But then throughout the rest of the movie, it's just stabbing with a knife. And it becomes kind of monotonous. And it would have been very interesting to have a variety of different kills. Because you're at Hellfest, right? You're at a haunted attraction that has many different types of scares. So why not mix up the variety of how characters die? There's like even one point where two characters are in the same area and they both die the same way by being stabbed with a knife. It just makes it kind of bland at that point. And that's at the halfway point of the movie. That's like in the second half of the movie, towards the third act. So all the best stuff is in the front of the movie and all the worst stuff is in the back of the movie. And it's just kind of, it kind of didn't work. Again, it would have been better to have a variety of different kills because it would have made the film kind of like keep it fresh and keep it going. But once they kept doing the stabbing with the knife, it becomes more monotonous and it becomes more predictable. It's still like, oh, so how will this character die? Oh, a knife. I mean, there is one point where the killer takes up an axe, but he doesn't really use it, which is kind of upsetting. The one thing I will give this movie props for is the location. This is a very unique location, and I've never really seen it done in movies before, except for, like, The House that October Built, which is a very different movie. This movie aims just to be a general slasher film, but the environment for which they put it in is something unique. And it kind of makes me wonder, at this point, how has there not been a murderer in one of these kind of areas? Where someone's disguised as one of these acting scare people, and they go around and they kill people. How has there not been something like this? And it's something that I find interesting. But I will say one of the more confusing parts is the ending. It's a bit of a mixed bag for me. First off, it kind of ends, spoilers, it kind of ends kind of like the first Halloween, where you think he's dead and he walks off, and I thought it was just going to end right there, because, a lot of the movie kind of tends to be kind of this Halloween type version of itself, But then it continues, and we actually see this person go home, and we kind of see his environment, and I don't want to give too much away here, but it just kind of forces you to reshape the entire movie, and it kind of confuses. It confused me, especially because I don't know. It's an ending that I'm a little bit confused on, and maybe I need to think about it more or think about it less. But the ending kind of does open its doors for a sequel. Like, how does he get away with this kind of stuff when he has this type of lifestyle? It's kind of interesting, to say the least. And if they ever do a sequel, probably kind of explore that area. Maybe. I don't know. So in total, Hellfest is a general popcorn film. Take your girlfriend, take your boyfriend. It's one of those films I could suggest, like, oh, if you just need a date night movie and you want to have some cheap scares, you can go for this one. This does use some of those stupid jump scare sounds like boom or boom or boom, like those general sounds you hear in very bad horror films. But it does enough that it becomes tolerable. It's not the most annoying horror film this year, like Truth or Dare or Slender Man. It's just, an average run-of-the-mill slasher film that doesn't take itself fully seriously, but you kind of have a little fun with it. So I'm going to give Hellfest a C+. Thank you guys so much for watching my review of Hellfest. Stay tuned for my my continuing reviews of the Halloween franchise, and I'm going to be starting up the Harry Potter franchise pretty soon, as well as doing some other videos. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.